Hey everyone, Sean Dinner here from the Peterson Real Estate team to talk about the latest market stats of what happened throughout Mississauga last month and before that. So we're going to take a look at all home types, the average price throughout the city. We're going to look at each individual home type, and then we're going to talk about why, despite what people had hoped for, what they prayed for, why prices continue to increase despite the pandemic. So we're going to talk quite a bit about that. So let's start taking a look at all home types. So we are sitting after July at over $905,000 for the average sale price in Mississauga. Way, way, way above the peak in 2017 that had everyone just going completely nuts. So great news for anyone who bought at the peak. Of course, we didn't know it was the peak at the time, right? You have continued to build equity in your home and you are much further ahead of the game. So many people bought, or worse yet, didn't buy because they were waiting for the market to go down and now can no longer afford the house that they could have bought 3 years ago. And we see it time and time again. It breaks our heart. I know it breaks their heart as well. And that's the conversation we need to have with home buyers. If you play the game, you're going to get burned every single time. The best time to buy is when you can. Real estate is a long-term game. If you're trying to flip properties or trying to make a quick buck, then that's speculation. That's not investment, right? So anyways, we can get more on that later. So let's take a look at condo apartments. Interestingly enough, we know that after the lockdown happened and quarantine came, all property types took a bit of a hit. Buyers stepped back, sellers definitely stepped back because they didn't want strangers in their home. Condos took more of a hit because there's just that much more people coming and going, and some condo management companies actually wouldn't let anyone in the building. So something to keep in mind there. However, it didn't take long to completely rebound, and then interestingly enough, July saw a lower price point from 549 to 537. Nothing major, but it's still interesting to see that, considering condo apartments remain one of the most affordable types of homes in the city still. Condo townhomes, same sort of situation here, right? Everything was going up and up and up before the spring. COVID hit, up, and again, they took a bit of a dive as well, 681 to 647. So when people say, I'm waiting for the market to go down, it's like, well, it already happened. Maybe it's happening again. It could go up next month, could go down a little bit, but we're going to talk about that. The signs aren't telling us that. Let's look at semi-detached homes. So they went up and a little bit down. Really nothing to talk about. I mean, a couple of grand, nothing crazy on average. Detached homes, interestingly enough, detached homes, of course, the bigger the price point, the more they're hit. So obviously they took a big dive down. So when people say, I want to wait for prices to go down, well, you should have bought in May. That was the bottom. Again, we don't know it's the bottom until after it already happens. So it comes back to, when's the best time to buy? When you can, right? Because even if you bought here at 1.23, look at that. 1.27, you're already ahead of the game just a few months later on a detached home. So this is the most interesting part. The story this tells is this is going to be a lot of move-up buyers. So the people coming from a condo, a townhouse, or a semi-detached have sold to move up into the bigger home. Now let's take a look at listed versus sold. So this tells us our number of listings and the sold, so the buyer demand. And this is why prices continue to increase. So you notice small gap here. So the amount of solds is creeping up on the 2019 sold numbers. However, our inventory is way down than it was last year. So Economics 101 tells us, when supply is low and demand is high, the only thing to happen is prices will increase. Going back to 2017, when we all know it was a crazy, crazy year, it's interesting to see the same path 2019, 2017, actually most years took. 2020 is the exception, as we all know. So the spring market is just getting started right now for us as we head into the end of summer and beginning of fall. So let's take a look. We'll take off 2019 and just notice that huge gap. So the solds, the buyer demand is, again, almost right on par with the 2017 numbers, but even more of a gap in the amount of listings. So don't be surprised to see these prices continue to skyrocket. So when's the best time to buy? When you can. If you're waiting for the market to crash or completely go down, I mean, it's up and down all the time, guys. So whenever you're ready, that's the time to do it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Any questions, leave a comment, get a hold of me. I'll be happy to have a conversation and see what's best for your unique situation, because what's right for you may not be right for the next family. So we customize a plan to your needs. All right. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.